There we go. So just going to start in a comfortable seat, everybody. So you can sit cross-legged, you can sit on your heels, whatever feels comfortable for you. If you find that you sink down into your hips, maybe grab a cushion, a block, anything, a child, a pet, sit on them. I'm sure they won't mind for a little bit. And what that does, lifts the hips up a little bit higher than your legs, enables the spine to be nice and long. So just take any wriggles that you need to, just to get into your space and into your body. Let the hands just rest on your thighs or knees. And when you're ready, just start to close down your eyes. And we're just allowing ourselves to land into our practice, coming from your day, whatever you've been doing today, and just dedicating this time just to be in the present moment, dedicate this time to connecting with yourself, with your body physically, with your breath, and even disconnecting a little from the thoughts that just move in and out of our heads constantly. So let's make some space today. So just give your mind some space to maybe reflect in the next couple of moments, just to tend to your emotional ecosystem, that web of interconnectivity between the outside, what's going on the outside, and your inside world. And it really doesn't take much. Just reuniting with your breath, untangling your circuitry. So let the knots loosen a little, just as you let your breath flow in and out. When we let those knots loosen a little, we find that we have returned to our base, to our essence. Finding some moments, finding some seconds amongst kids, amongst pets, housemates, work. Just offer yourself the generosity of your attention today. Be generous with that. A chance for you to just sit with yourself, be with yourself, be with your breath. So breathing in nice and deep. And just lighten your load. One more deep breath in. And a soft breath out. And gently opening your eyes. And today we're going to start seated with Wind in the Willows. So we're going to start with the right arm first, and I'll mirror you so it'll look like we're doing on the same side. So starting with the right hand. So you take a breath in as the right arm sweeps up, and then exhale for a side bend. And then take that arm back behind you, open across the shoulder. And then exhale as you thread that arm across, sweeps in, tuck your chin in. And then inhale, open and expand. You take that arm back. Again, thread that arm across your body. Tuck your chin in. Inhale, the arm goes out nice and wide. And then a side bend, exhale. And take that hand back down to your mat. And very seamlessly, let's flow to the other side. Breathe in the left arm. And then exhale, side bend, maybe bending into that supporting arm. Inhale, take the arm back. And then exhale as you thread across your body. Inhale, open and expand across your chest. Exhale. And one more time, breathing in. And then exhale for that side bend. Beautiful. And then take that hand back down to your mat. And bringing both hands down in front of you, come onto all fours. So make sure that your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. When we're ready, let's start to move through the spine. Breathe in, your belly sinks. And then exhale as you round. Draw your chin in, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale. The belly sinks. And then exhale, round. This is cat and cow. And if you can, if it feels okay, close down your eyes as you just continue to move your spine. This is where you're connecting to all those muscles that run down the length of your spine, noticing how it feels today. And I want you to just flow with your breath, and whether you take that into your hips side to side, or you stay with that up and down movement, that's completely up to you. We have about another 2 breaths here. Drop into the space in your body. And on your next inhale, just come back to neutral spine. So gaze is down. And you're grounding down through both hands and knees and tops of feet. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. And on your inhale, extend your right leg all the way to the back of your mat. Send the sole of your foot away from you. And then if it's okay for you, extend the left arm. Cross-body balance. And press out of your right hand and your right shoulder. One more breath here. Take the hand back down to your mat. We're going to plant that right foot at the back of your mat, pivot on your left shin, and raise your right arm nice and high, modified side plank. So you're grounding down through the left hand. That left shin pivots if you need to. And you're reaching up with your right hand. And on your exhale, bring that hand and knee back down to your mat. Just go through a round of cat and cow here. Breathe in. And exhale, just like a reset through the body. Coming back to neutral spine, draw belly button in, and left leg extends to the back of your mat. And your hips stay nice and even here. And then maybe your right hand extends. Don't hold your breath. Very slowly, bring your right hand back down to your mat. And you're going to plant the left foot at the back of your mat, pivot on your right shin, raise your other arm nice and high, reaching up, looking for space across your chest, pressing out of your right shoulder. Let that hand come back down to your mat, knee comes down too, and just go through a round of cat and cow, breathing in. And then exhale as you round. And then taking the hands, a handprint in front of where they are now, spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. The hips go nice and high. Little bend through the knees if you need to, especially if you're tight through the hamstrings. And just move your body into this shape however you need to here. And on your next inhale, come up high on your tiptoes, bend your knees and take a walk to the top of your mat. Your feet come in between your hands for ragdoll. So feet are about hip width distance here. And then let your torso dangle. Tuck your chin in so that the crown of your head just drips towards your mat. And your hands can rest down. You can take your thumbs to opposite elbow creases.
A very generous bend through your knees. Another deep breath in. As you exhale, release your hands down and then touch into your chest. Start to roll up through your spine. Don't rush this, bending through the knees. And then when you arrive at the top, draw the shoulders to your ears and take them back down. Let's do that one more time. A breath in as you draw the shoulders up, and then exhale. Turn the palms to face forward. This is your mountain pose, Tadasana. So take a nice steady stance with your feet, and the shoulders draw down. The crown of your head is extending upwards. So you have two energies working here. You have this grounding through your feet, and then you have this lift through the crown of your head. Steady and strong. And just take another breath here. And on your next inhale, the arms sweep out and up. And then it's forward fold. Exhale, a little bend through the knees. And a halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Fingers draw up the front of your shins. And a little bend through the knees here as well. Then press your fingers into your shins and draw the shoulders from your ears. So you have nice length through your spine. Take another breath in. And then exhale, forward fold. Release it down. Inhale, a halfway lift. And this time, plant your hands down. Step your feet to the back of your mat for high plank, and your knees come down to your mat. Take a breath in here, and then lower nice and slow all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes. Baby cobra. Press the tops of your feet into your mat as you lift. And then exhale, forehead back to the earth. 2 more times. Breathing in. And exhale. Inhale. Elbows stay into your sides. And as you exhale, tuck your toes via your knees. Press yourself back, downward facing dog. And you have 3 breaths here to connect back. 3 breaths just to draw your attention back in. Be generous today with your attention. On your next inhale, come up high on your tiptoes, bend your knees, step or walk to the top of your mat. A halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, bow yourself down. And then you rise, full breath in. Then forward fold, release it down. And a halfway lift, breathe in. Your hands plant down, step back for high plank, and you can choose whether you come to your knees or stay on your toes. On your toes, shift forward and lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes, cobra. Breathe in. And press yourself back, downward facing dog. This is your sun salutation A. This is a salute to the sun, where we connect breath and movement. And the two become one as we move through this sequence. On your next inhale, come up high on your tiptoes, bend your knees, step, walk, or maybe jump. A halfway lift. And bow yourself down, exhale, and then rise, breathing in. And then forward fold, release down. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands plant down, step back for your high plank, knees or toes. Breathe in, shift forward, lower, either halfway or all the way. Upward facing dog or cobra. Breathe in. Press back, downward facing dog. 1 breath here, let's flow.
On your inhale, come up high on your tiptoes, bend your knees, step, walk, or jump. Halfway lift. And forward fold, exhale, and then rise. Breathing in. Bow yourself down, exhale. Halfway lift. Moving through your flow, high plank to low, choosing whether you do this on your knees or toes. And breathing in, cobra or upward dog. Press back, downward facing dog. And just stay here for another breath. Come back into your space. And on your next inhale, your right leg extends nice and long. And bring your foot through between your hands. Take your time to get it there. If you need to use your hand to do that, feel free. Left foot grounds 45 degrees. Warrior one. Breathe in as you rise. And pressing down and out through your left foot. So the outer edge of that left foot is connecting to the earth. Maybe so much so that your arch of your foot lifts up. So you're switching that leg on. Take another breath here. And as you exhale, warrior two, exhale. And keeping that lunge as deep as you can. Keep that right knee moving forward. Don't want to let it collapse in. Keep it going over your pinky toe edge. And clip your front palm and breathe into reverse. You want to keep that lunge as much as you can. And then float your arms to your mat. And press both hands into your mat. Step back for high plank to move through your flow. Knees or toes. Few options that you can land into here. And press yourself back, downward facing dog. And left leg extends. And bring your foot through between your hands. And ground your right foot. Take your time so you're steady through your feet as you rise. Warrior one. Remembering to anchor down through the right foot. Lunge into the left knee. Relax through your shoulders. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, warrior two. So open the arms and feel free to shift that front foot around. I often do that just so that my knee doesn't collapse in. It stays tracking over my toes. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath in as you flip that front palm to reverse. Cartwheel hands to your mat. Press them into your mat. Step back for your high plank, knees or toes. Lowering down, exhale. Breathe in, cobra or up dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here. And a soft breath out. On your inhale, right leg extends. And bring your foot through between your hands. Warrior one, breathe in. Warrior two, exhale. Beautiful. Reverse your warrior, breathe in. And then bring that right arm to your right thigh, extended side angle. And that left arm sweeps towards the front of your mat, and keeping that lunge as deep as you can. And you're trying not to lean on that right arm. So you want to use the side abs here, but keep open across your chest. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, look down at your right foot, plant both your hands down, spin to the ball of your back foot. Left hand plants, right arm goes high, twist. And hand comes back to your mat and choose whether you move through your flow, high to low, knees or toes, or you can just press back to down dog.
And just breathe there. And we will all meet back in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a breath out. And left leg sweeps long. Bring your foot through between your hands. Ground your back foot, warrior one, breathe in. And warrior two, exhale. Reverse, breathe in. And then bring the left arm to your left thigh. Sweep that right arm towards the top of your mat. And feeling that nice long line. It runs all the way from your right foot to your right fingertips. Don't hold your breath. On your next exhale, look down at your left foot, plant both your hands down, spin to the ball of your back foot. Right hand plants, left arm high. Breathe in. Exhale, hand goes back to your mat. Choose whether you move through your flow, knees or toes, or back into downward facing dog and just breathe there. And when you arrive in downward facing dog, you can stay there or you can come down to your knees for about 3 or 4 more breaths into child's pose. Just resting the forehead down, sinking the hips back. Just come back into that space that we started with at the beginning of your practice today. Just focusing on your breath, letting those knots just loosen a little, whether those knots are in the physical body, whether those knots are in your mind, or maybe in your breath. Letting that exhale and just flush anything out of your system. Another deep breath in and a soft breath out. And then when you're ready, making your way back into downward facing dog, spread the fingers nice and wide, toes tuck, sit bones go nice and high. When you're ready, on your inhale, right leg extends. And bring your foot through between your hands for warrior one. Left foot grounds and you rise. And then warrior two, exhale. Reverse your warrior, breathe in. An extended side angle again, right arm to your right thigh. Left arm sweeps towards the front of the room and you can stay here. Or feel free to take that left arm just behind your back. Maybe your fingers reach around to your right hip for a bind. This is a half bind. You don't want to collapse across your chest or through that shoulder. Keeping it nice and open. Your legs are strong here. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, look down at your right foot, release your bind, plant both hands down. And bring your left knee down to your mat. Press your left hand into your mat, right arm goes high, twist, and we're coming into modified side plank. So we're going to lift the right foot up and take it straight into the air behind us. Sorry, I have my back to you guys. Or that right foot can plant at the back of your mat. Pivot on the left shin as much as you need to. You can stay here or start to bend through that right knee. Reach back with your right hand. Take hold of your big toe edge and kick your foot into your hand. One more breath in. Exhale, release hand and foot back down to your mat for high plank. And choose whether you go through your flow here, maybe on your knees, or you can press back into down dog.
A deep breath in and a soft breath out. The left leg goes high, inhale. Bring that foot through between your hands, exhale. Ground your back foot, warrior one, breathe in. Warrior two, exhale. And then reverse, breathe in. And this time the left hand to your left thigh, sweep that right arm towards the top of your mat. And you can stay here with this nice long line, or you can take your hand behind your back. Maybe it just sits on your back here. Maybe it reaches all the way to your left hip. And you can take that half bind here, keeping that lunge nice and deep. Maybe the hand goes all the way down to the mat. You have lots of places to be here. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, releasing both hands down to your mat. Bring that right knee down. Right hand grounds. Left arm goes high twist. Beautiful. All right. Lift up through that left foot. Take it straight into the air. Maybe you just heel toe it back. That's completely fine. Maybe bend through that left knee, reach back and open across your chest and your hip. Another breath in, and then gently release. Both hand and foot come back to your mat for high plank, and choosing whether you move through your flow, high to low, or maybe you just press back into down dog. And all meeting back here. Take a deep breath in and a soft breath out. Right leg extends. And bring your foot through between your hands. Stay on the ball of your left foot this time and rise for crescent lunge. Just set yourself up. If you feel like you have the wobbles, your feet may be too close. So easiest one to move is the front foot, and you can just heel toe it over a little so that your feet are a little bit wider. Take a breath in here. And then exhale as you tilt forward from the hips, arms run alongside the body, arrowhead. So you're pressing your left toes into the mat. So this leg is switched on. Take a breath in, arms go high. And exhale, arrowhead. Open across the chest. Another time, breathe in. And then exhale, arrowhead. This time come forward a little bit more with your weight. And then you press to lift for aeroplane. And that left leg lifts up. Take your time to get there. Don't rush. And if you wobble out, just come back in when you're ready. We have another breath here. And then gently tap back, crescent lunge. Take your time as you steady yourself. Breathe in, arms go high. And exhale, hands to your hips. Start to straighten through the right leg and just bring that left foot in just a little. So both legs are quite straight here. A little bend through that front knee, especially if you're tight through the back of your right leg. So switch your legs on. So feel as if your feet are stretching the mat apart. Take a breath in. And then exhale, start to tilt forward from your hips. And your spine becomes nice and parallel towards the floor. And you can stay here, or you can release the hands down maybe. Maybe you can fold a little deeper. Just go to your degree. If you're feeling quite tight through the back of your right leg, maybe just back it off a little. If your hands don't quite reach your mat, grab a book, a bottle, water bottle, anything that can just bring the earth a little closer to your hands. You have 2 more breaths here. Soak it up.
And on your next exhale, start to lunge into that right knee. Plant both hands down. Just tap that left foot back. And then step back for your high plank. Knees or toes moving through your flow. High to low. And breathe in. And press yourself back. Downward dog. On your inhale, left leg extends. And bring your foot through between your hands. Crescent lunge, strong and steady through your feet. A little bend through that back knee. And just remembering, if you need to heel toe that left foot over a little, feel free to do that. Take a breath in. And then exhale, arrowhead. So tilt forward from the hips, sweep the arms alongside your body, but you want to draw the shoulders back and down so you stay open across your chest. On your inhale, you come all the way up. And then exhale, arrowhead, tilt forward. Beautiful, inhale. And then exhale, we land again, but take the weight a little bit further forward. Maybe tap that foot in and then press to lift. Takasana, aeroplane pose. As we hear the aeroplanes going over the top of me. Stay with your breath. Gently tap back. Crescent lunge. Take your time, there's no rush. Inhale. And exhale, hands to your hips. Start to straighten through the left leg. And just take that right foot in a little so that your stance is not as long. So again, switch your legs on. Take a breath in. And then exhale, start to tilt forward. Keeping that spine nice and parallel towards the floor. And you can stay here. This is completely fine. Or releasing the hands down, maybe folding a bit deeper over your left leg, but keep drawing that left hip back a little. It will want to come out to the side, draw it back, and draw the right hip forward, left hip back. And you have 2 more breaths. Make them deep. And start to bend into your left knee, plant both hands down. Just tap that right foot back a little. Press both hands into your mat. Step back for high plank, either to move through your flow or press back into downward facing dog. And when you arrive in downward facing dog, come up high on your tiptoes. Bend your knees, step, walk, or jump, top of your mat. And a halfway lift, breathe in. And bow yourself down, heel toe your feet out to the width of your mat. And the toes turn out slightly. Just going to face you here. So that as you come down into this low squat, your knees track over your toes. Now, if this is not happy with your knees, please don't come into this full variation. Grab something that you can sit on. If you have a block, awesome. If you don't, a book, a cushion, fold it up, even the lounge. Yeah, whatever works for you. But if you've got pain in your knees, please don't come into this. Come out and just come into a seated position. If you can bring your hands to prayer. We are here for 5 more breaths. Maybe close down your eyes. Just drop back in. Dropping back in to the present moment. Letting go of your distractions in the mind.
And on your next exhale, and just opening the eyes, release the hands down. Press your hands into your mat to lift the hips up. Take it nice and slow. Heel toe the feet into about hip width distance. Peace fingers, 2 fingers, wrap around your big toes. So the palms face one another here. And take a halfway lift. So I want you to lengthen your spine. And then exhale, forward fold. This is quite active. To draw your torso over your legs. A little bend through the knees, especially if you're tight. Maybe the elbows bend and go out to the sides. And I have an absolutely glorious view between my legs right now. It's upside down, but it's still glorious. One more breath. Release your hands. Heel toe the feet in a little. A halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands down and just step back into downward facing dog. Bring your knees down to your mat. Sink your hips back for child's pose. Rest the forehead down. And here you are again in this moment and the next moment. Just watching your breath flow in and out. Let's just be here just for another 4 breaths. Maybe making each inhale deeper than the last. Letting your belly fill, let your belly relax. Taking your time, you start to use your hands just to push yourself back onto your heels so you're sitting up. We're just going to swing the hips to one side, extend the legs to the top of your mat. Just moving into the shade a little, I'm a bit hot. So a little bend through the knees here for your forward fold again, especially if you're tight through the hamstrings. I know I say that a lot, but I'm super tight, so I feel for people that struggle with their forward folds. So sitting up nice and tall, take a breath in, arms sweep up. Lead with your chest. Exhale to fold. Maybe your hands land on your shins or your ankles or the soles of your feet. Tuck your chin in, and you have 5 deep breaths here just to soak up. Gently release, come all the way up. And start to draw the right knee in first. Hug it in nice and close. And then let that knee fall to the outer edge of your mat. And just realign yourself so you sit evenly. That right knee draws down towards the mat. So you're opening through the right hip. The left toes draw back, a little bend through that left knee. And on your inhale, sweep the arms up. Rotate your torso so you fold over your extended leg. And again, your hands land wherever they do. Keeping that length through your spine. Tuck your chin in. Always using your breath just to bring you back. And gently release, come all the way up. And take your right hand just next to your right hip here. And then breathe in as you lift the hips up and take that left arm back behind you. The beautiful opening through the front side of the body. And then bring the hips back down. And take that right knee in. And then extend that leg nice and long. Left knee draws in. Rotate from your hip. Take the knee out to the side and just realign yourself. And draw the right toes back. Take a breath in as you sweep up. Rotate your torso and you fold on your exhale, releasing everything down. And just relax your mind. Stay with your breath. And gently release. Come all the way up. And the left hand just sits just behind your left hip. And lift yourself up and bring that right arm back and open up. Gaze is wherever is comfortable for your neck. And then gently release back down. That left knee draws in. Gather both knees in now. And take the knees to the outer edges of your mat. Sitting up nice and tall. You can take the heels quite close today if you choose, or take them a little bit further away if it's too aggressive for you to open through those inner hips. You've got lots of places that you can be. Right out here is quite nice, but just choose where your hips need to be today. Take the hands around the soles of your feet, lift up nice and tall, a breath in. And then start to lean forward from the hips. Maybe the elbows bend and you can press into your legs to open. And then relax the head down. Let that opening happen through your inner thighs as much as your body will allow. We'll always work with our bodies, work to your degree. And one more breath here. And gently bring yourself all the way up. And gather your knees in. Just let the hips just reset here for a moment. Maybe resting the forehead onto your knees. You might even feel that really nice release through the neck and through the upper back. And take your time as you move yourself down onto your back. So extend the legs nice and long. Keep your knees bent. Let the knees fall out to the sides. Soles of the feet come together for Supta Baddha Konasana. And bring both hands to your low belly here. Excuse me. And you're just letting the hips just open quite naturally. I'm not trying to force them in any way here. Let the hands rest very gently. And you're connecting back to your breath, that cycle, that rhythm that just flows in and out of your body. What do you notice as you settle into this space? What are the sensations that come up physically in the body, maybe? This exercise of just noticing, so simple, just brings yourself back into the present moment when we tend to get carried away with our thoughts or our to-do lists. What do you notice right at this moment? Just another breath here. And then let your hands just gather your knees in and hug your knees into your chest. And just feel that release through the lower back, maybe massage back into the mat side to side. Feel that release through the inner thighs. And we're going to come into shoulder stand today. So you can take supported shoulder stand with the legs just straight up into the air, and you can just lift the hips up slightly and just place the hands under the tailbone so it just tilts the pelvis up a little, so keeping it in a posterior tilt. So this can be your shoulder stand if that works for you, and it can be so restorative and gentle. If you would like to come into full shoulder stand, feel free to do that. And all you're doing is draw the knees down and take the hands to the lower back. Knees come to your forehead. You want to just keep the hands here as a support for your lower back, and then extend the legs straight up, nice and high. And just keeping those elbows drawn in as close to one another as you can. If you're in full shoulder stand, just feel free to cross the ankles and just find a lift here as you energize your legs. Find that elevation through your legs. You might like to uncross and do it the other way as you find that lift. And uncrossing your ankles. Just here for another 2 breaths. And slowly start to bend through the knees. And then using your hands just to support your lower back. You should bring yourself back down to your mat. If you're in supported shoulder stand, just bend one knee and then the other. And bring both feet back down. Extend both legs. We're going to come into the counter pose for shoulder stand. Take the palms flat to your mat and then just lift the hips up so that your palms are just underneath your glutes. Bring the feet back down.
all you're going to do now is come up on your forearms. So bend at the elbows, and then you're just going to tilt the head back, and it rests back onto your mat. If your head doesn't go all the way back, feel free to come out, or you can place a cushion or a block underneath your head if it's too much for your neck here. But this is beautiful to open up through the throat and across the chest. Keep pressing into your elbows and your forearms to lift up through your chest, through your sternum. Another breath here. When you're ready, press into your forearms, lift the head up and just tuck the chin first, and then release the arms from underneath you, coming back down to your mat. And just take the palms out to the sides just for a moment here. We have one final place to land before our rest. And just a beautiful twist through the spine. We've been doing twisted roots a lot of late, so if you'd like to come into that, bend the knees and cross the right leg over your left leg. And when you're ready, just shuffle that left hip over a little, and your knees just fall out over to the left. And take the arms out to the side. Beautiful twist through the spine. If this is too much, this twist is too deep, just feel free to uncross. Keep the knees together and just take the knees over to the side. And we have another breath here. And gently bring your knees back into center and just uncross your legs and realign your hips. And just pause here for a moment. Instead of rushing yourself to where you're going next, just be here for another breath. And take the left leg over your right. Shuffle the hips across, knees fall over to the right side. And let your spine unravel here. Just another breath. Just let your body soak up this goodness. And take your knees up into center and unraveling your legs. Extend both legs to the top of your mat. And take up space if your room allows it, wherever you're practicing today. So take the feet at least as wide as your mat, and the arms go out to the sides, palms face up. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades under a little, just so that you're sitting nice and flat and you're open across your chest. And let the back of your heart space just drop down towards your mat. Feel that anchoring as your body connects. And then just let go. Let your body soften and surrender.
loosening any grip that you might still have through the body. Loosening any knots. And you will find that you will return to your base, to your center. So be in this space. Dive into it and rest. As you lie here in this space of rest, just allowing yourself just to stop, to reflect, reuniting with your breath. Maybe taking some deeper breaths in into the belly and some softer breaths out. And start to reconnect to your body through your fingers and your toes. Maybe gently taking your head side to side. And you want to find something that feels balancing, whether that's drawing in your knees to your chest or stretching out through your entire body like a big stretch from when you awaken from a deep sleep. And then just roll to one side for a moment. Just pause there. Gently push yourself up to a comfortable seat. As you come up, draw your hands to your heart center at prayer, closing down your eyes. And just thank yourself for being with your body today, being with your breath, and everything that you have to offer. Knowing that you are enough as you are doing well, you are doing enough, especially at this time that we find ourselves in. You are enough. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out through your mouth like a release, conscious cleanse. Another deep breath in. Feel your belly, your ribs, and your chest all the way. And then exhale from your mouth. Let your breath just come back to its natural rhythm. Notice any shift that has happened for yourself. And take your thumbs to your forehead. Just tilt your face up towards the sky. And shine the light, honor the light, and be the light. And together we say, Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for joining me again.